And welcome back to Blood. This is a pretty cool level. It's kind of a shame it's a secret, but on the other it's a good reward for finding the secret. And now I'm going to show...
It's better than a bad level being at the end of a secret.
Yeah. Here I'm showing how terrible the gargoyles are.
A most effectual enemy.
Yeah. There's going to be more of them being terrible later, but this is the only time I'll kill them with a pitchfork. At least I hope I would need to do that ever.
Yeah, that was a ridiculous amount of health. Like,
Yeah. That's why I usually
Like
just shoot them with the napalm launcher.
Over the lips, through the gowns, look out, dummy.
So I recorded this video this morning and edited them throughout the day. So you are going to see me be an idiot.
I'm not certain, but I think the guy in the picture on the poster board that got blown up there, I think that might have been George Broussard. I know he's a husky guy.
Could be. So I completely lost sight of that zombie and decided to ignore him. So you can get killed by the door if you open it in your own face. And I in fact have played this whole level and then looped back through an exploding wall and then get crushed by the door and realized my only save is in the beginning.
Yeah. I definitely appreciate games that let you just do a manual save as far as, like, PC shooters go, but, having the occasional autosave or checkpoint is most certainly a convenience that I was welcome to.
Yeah. I might have been drinking water or something during that pause.
No, clearly you were savoring your handiwork.
Yeah, sure. You can jump that gap, but I'm going to show off where you're intended to go. It doesn't really break anything, but you're going to see this wonderful underwater sequence.
Oh, with a nice little diving suit overlay.
Yeah.
Okay, zombie just walking in the middle of the water.
They animated the cultist swimming, but not anything else. Well, besides aquatic enemies. I was kind of disappointed that the zombie didn't get chopped up. And here I'm hoping that I'd find a secret door, but no. The secrets in this level are really well hidden.
Yeah, but, like, can the zombie actually get hit by, like, the environmental hazards like that?
They do damage to the enemies, but I'm not actually convinced that that one never deals damage. I've never been hit by it.
Didn't I say Super Crush or something?
Something like that. I don't really remember.
The lighting in this area is really goofy.
Yeah. I think they were just seeing what they can do. And I guess it would make sense if this was a finished haunted house.
I suppose.
This is the exact texture that the flesh levels that this game will eventually have are also going to use, so they might be using real flesh on the walls. So obviously, it's a bit right choice to a big gunfight is just to throw dynamite at everyone.
Sure. What's so funny? What are you laughing at?
And again, I was trying to find secrets. I have never found a single secret in this level.
It seems to be,
Oh, it says Spine Crusher. And that right there looks back to the wall I blew up. Looks back to the beginning where you're gonna get crushed.
right. I will say I am noticing the little charge bar when you're preparing a dynamite toss, so you have, you know, something of a mental gauge, or excuse me, a visual gauge of just how far you're going to throw it.
Right. I don't think any of the other Good Engine games do that, but throwable items do have a charge in all of them that I've played.
Yeah, I can definitely say Duke 3D does not give you any kind of visual indicator of the strength of your grenade toss.
Right. Well, actually, in Shadow Warrior they programmed the throwing weapon differently, so it might not be chargeable, but it's also thrown way better.
Oh, good grief.
So this, well, first I'm going to pick up 1 health because I obviously need it. But that water ball leads to the copy of the normal exit of the previous level.
Right.
This game does that quite nicely. Most of the time the levels.
Yeah, it's always good to have like actual good level transition points. It's always incredibly jarring where you're just like, oh hey, we finished in a train station. Why am I on an airplane?
Yeah. So this is the point the game starts to get serious. This level, not really at the beginning, because they're kind of... These are designed in a way that they have to be beatable with pistol stars, or in these games without any other weapons to reach for.
Right. Seems like locale-wise, this also is more serious. It's like, oh, we have like, you know, a gothic horror themed game. Let's start off with like a crematorium and then go to a carnival and a haunted house. And now it's just like, no, now we're like actually like in a cultist temple or whatever.
Right. Well, the first level was a funeral home with a graveyard, so it's kind of appropriate, but it's kind of thematically it's a weird choice that we stopped by a carnival.
You got some air on that guy.
Yeah. This game has really good knockback physics. So in rooms like this, the gargoyles can get stuck up in the ceiling. Not permanently stuck, but their AI doesn't know how to handle ceilings. And especially if they're above doorways, they just get stuck above the door, so they become a huge pain to deal with. Not really because they might attack you from above, but because when you ignore them, they might sneak behind you and get a hit in, and they actually deal a lot of damage.
Right. Above and behind is a bad place to be ambushed from.
Yeah. From the sides as well, as you're going to see. Because when enemies are on the both sides, there are two directions that can be behind.
Right. So it looks like the alt fire for the flare gun takes 8 ammunition.
Yeah. Or what the alternative fire.
So I noticed that, like, most of the time you don't have dual wielding going on. Is that like just a power up you pick up as opposed to, oh, you have 2 weapons, now you can swing 2 of them around?
Power up. It was in the first weapon too, and it's limited time, and it's very strange choice for the first weapon because you don't have any ammo.
Could you dual wield pitchforks?
Unfortunately, no.
You will know what to do when the time comes.
So that right there was the choice of the god Chernobog.
Right.
So even though the dual wielding is a temporary power up, the Caleb Sprite actually has 2 weapons.
I had noticed that when you were looking at the mirror earlier.
He was actually supposed to look like just one of the cultists, but I think the director just decided that that was going to be boring, so the art guy made like a physical model, because that was the normal thing to do graphics at the time, and then
Right.
that became color.
Yeah, kind of like how Duke Nukem's sprites in Duke 3D always have him wielding the rocket launcher regardless of what he actually has.
Right. Actually, the voice actor Stefan Wade voiced also the cultists, and he has commented on that he actually doesn't remember doing the cultists, but he recognizes the voices himself, and he guesses that he did all the voice for them in like one session in the studio, so he didn't really have time to read them or get into character. He just did them on the go.
Right. It's a good thing that this shotgun has, like, honestly, a really good rate of fire, all things considered.
Right.
Being, you know, a sawn-off with 2 barrels.
It's this game was in development for a long time, I think, from 1993 to 1994 to 1997. So they had time to figure out what was the best way to do it.
Oh, that's good.
And also it's kind of a mix of the super shotgun and the normal shotgun from Doom, because this doesn't have another shotgun.
Right.
I was about to go outside, but I remembered that it's kind of rude, so I pick up the invisibility, which is really good in this game. In Doom, it's kind of like makes enemies hit you less often, and if they use projectiles, they make dodging them even harder, because they might
Yeah, they're
shoot on the either side. But in this
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, usually, like, the cloaking device analog thing is usually, like, the most worthless of any power-up that you can pick up in these old FPSs.
Right, in many...
But in this one, it, like, actually seems to make their detection of you just go straight through the floor unless you're actively attacking them.
Right. In many Doom modes, when they change the gameplay, they also change the invisibility, because it doesn't really work well.
Right.
And here I'm thinking of a secret in Shadow Warrior, but I don't realize that yet. I was like, is there a secret in the statue? And then I just go.
By the way, what difficulty are you playing this on?
This is the medium difficulty. Usually the second highest is the intended, but in the manual in this game it specifically says that it's meant for multiplayer.
Right.
So I hope you like the elevator sound, because you're going to hear it a lot. Well, a few times in a row. When you go into this room, you're supposed to be swarmed by rats, but they got stuck in the holes. And just thinking
As
about...
rats are known to do.
Yeah. And and as I was expressing my rage over small enemies in video games, I tried to make the barrel explode, but it didn't explode, and I was very disappointed. Barrels are meant to explode. And now I remember that and think about, is there a secret, and decide to do it.
Jeez, Caleb, you got some mad ups. Got your Air
Right,
Jordans on
he
from
has
beyond
magic
the grave.
boots, which make him jump up, which is actually the item I have selected.
Ah, I see.
And now I have invulnerability, and instead of going ahead and trying to get the spot where it's useful, I just waste time.
I don't know, being able to just hand a gargoyle dynamite and not
Well,
care, that seems useful to me.
In this room I would really have needed it.
2 portals lead to certain death.
Whoa, wrong door.
Well. So what exactly happened there?
Well, one of the doors there is real, and if you choose the wrong door, you almost always die, but I somehow managed to survive. And only lost most of my health. So, to get this secret, you have to jump at the wall and mash the use button.
Right.
And that altar
As
was
was
making
tradition at the
chanting.
time.
Right. And it's this level super secret, obviously. So
More secrets.
Usually in these games there's 8 levels in an episode and 1 secret, but there's just 7 normal levels in this one.
Right.
So this is the last one before the boss.
Did they do a shareware release format with this game?
Yeah, there was... This episode was the shareware. And
Yeah, that makes sense. So it's like, make people really want to like scour out the levels and explore and experiment on this one instead of just like, oh, here's some shit.
right. It's actually a bit unusual. Usually the second level is the slump of the game. Sometimes the last one is kind of bad too, if the game is shareware. But in this one, the only not very good one is the second, and there are 4 normal episodes and then 2 expansions.
Right.
And all of those are really good. Oh, so I threw the dynamite into water and you could hear some eagles screaming. That's the fish. Oh.
Yeah, I kind of figured that's what it was. It's like, oh, there's going to be a shitload of piranhas behind you at the end of this.
And here's the room over room freaking out. I'm pretty sure that's not because of DOSBox.
Yeah, that was some texture trouble there.
Yeah. And now I remember a secret and decide to save myself some pain. You see, here's an invisibility, and I kind of want it.
Fair enough.
And to make it useful, I just bootside in. Oh, I think I did pick those up in this level. I forgot about it. This would wear out really quickly if I didn't jump onto that bridge and would have gone through the normal way instead.
Right.
Because this place is a beach if you don't have the invisibility.
Yeah, it seems like this level is rather fond of just having you go through a portal of some kind and just have there be dudes waiting. So I can definitely see the invis being of value here.
Right.
Oh, hi! We've got a rocket jumping zombie.
And here I was surprised because these guys were already dead. Usually I don't manage to kill them quickly. They like walk down, or I make one of them light one of them on fire and they fall down into the water and then they come back to hunt me somewhere.
So is the fire state an actual like damage over time state?
Yeah, it is. When they
Does
have
going into water actually extinguish it?
I think it does. I certainly see
Okay.
more enemies survive being on fire when they fall into water. And here I'm trying to find a secret, but I'm thinking of Quake. And this room is the pain of trying to do this without saving.
Yeah, this looks like an awful room. It's big, there's guys with Thompsons all over the place.
And there's one gargoyle just flying up to the ceiling and doing nothing.
And no cover.
Well, there's cover, but it's only to one side at a time. So you might have noticed that the gargoyle did a lot of damage, and then I was shot a bunch. They're actually kind of dangerous, so you have to take care of them pretty quickly, so you can focus on enemies that are actually dangerous.
Right. They kind of function on the logic of actually getting hit by them generally doesn't happen, but if they actually do, oh boy.
I think they're supposed to be more dangerous, but their AI just doesn't play right.
Right.
They kind of remind me of if Doom tried to have Cagabinos be like close combat enemies.
Yeah, seems about right.
And behind that pillar is, or pedestal is was a bomb with a proximity detonator that looks very science fiction-y, but this is still the 20s.
Right.
Well, actually, one of the expansions, which is made by a third party but is still considered canon, has a poster for Phantom of the Opera, which wasn't around in the 20s. But Blood 2 still confirms the game to be in the 20s. And now I realize...
I mean, in fairness, like, you know, Chernobog and zombies are not a thing that we have to contend with in our own timeline, so clearly this is alternative history.
Right. And before going into this room, I was being very careful, and then I realized that there is some reflective shots in the room, so I could have just charged in and grabbed it.
Oh, well, better late than never.
Right. And there are still some zombies to get hit by themselves. Oh, and I got hit in the face with an axe because the thing ran out.
Well, that zombie can consider himself the big winner of the poker game.
And now I should have used the dynamite before I got swarmed. But
yeah, usually you're all over on the dynamite when you're opening those like walls with a bunch of dudes behind them.
I'm not entirely sure how I choose my weapons in this game. Sometimes I throw way more dynamite than I need to, and other times I just decide to waste a lot of shotgun ammo.
Right. So I'm guessing that the 200, the 167, and the other 200 are like reserve pools of something.
There are the different armor types.
Ah.
The red one is obviously fire, the blue is normal, and the green one is called spirit, but as I said, nothing in this episode deals spirit damage.
Fair enough.
I just got it from the super armor, which gives you full everything.
Right. So I know that they usually have like smaller HUDs that give you less information in a lot of these older FPSs.
Right,
I'm guessing that you've got one of those.
Oh, and here's another editing mistake. This one is actually they made a different hood from the normal build games. Oh, and I
Right.
thought this was something, but no, it's just a waste of time. Yes, I don't
It's an
usually
attention
use,
to
use the,
detail.
I don't normally use the full screen in these build games, but this one actually shows how much armor you have, so this is the only one where I use it.
Right. Because I was like sitting over here thinking, like just kind of watching the bars and trying to figure it out myself, and I'm like, are those ammos? No, they don't go down when you fire the gun. Are
Right.
they armor? Then why do you have 3 of them? And it's like, oh, there's 3 kinds of armor. Okay, that explains it.
Right.
So the boots like make you just Air Jordan all over the place by what I've observed.
Right.
So you got your Super Mario boots, and then you've got the diving suit, which I imagine is automatic. I
Right,
saw
it's-
2 other inventory items. What are those?
There's the portable medkit and beast vision, which is the night vision. It's kind of is better than usually in these games because Duke Nukem gives you that green tint that just makes things harder to see, and the enemies are bright. In this game, the enemies
Right.
look normal, but always at the full brightness, and it
Right.
doesn't otherwise change your vision.
Excuse me.
And there's a guy out just... He's going down with the altar and I shoot him out of spite. Again, getting into character.
As you do.
And somehow I really
Dual-wielding
wanted
flare
Zombie
guns
to
never
die
stop
and
amusing
give
me.
up after wasting 4 shots. And now more editing mistakes. As I said, I did all of this in one day, so
Yeah, this corridor looks like bullshit.
it's kind of stressful. It's not actually very hard, but yeah,
The timing looks pretty precise.
yeah, it is. But you know, as soon as one of the panels starts to close, you can move on.
Right. It's one of those things that would be, like, the timing is such that it'd be more easily navigated if this was a 2D game as opposed to a 3D game from first person.
Right. Well, at least the fire jets don't deal that much damage. I think they're more there to scare you than to deal damage.
Fair enough.
And now I'm...
they're running from you.
yeah, and I was really confused because they don't run away. This is a first-person shooter. And I
What?
thought there was a secret later on, and I decided to edit out myself jumping down.
I need a key.
But,
Oh, I see.
yeah, but while making notes and realizing how dumb I was during this whole video, I decided that's fine. That's fine to show. It's fine to show that I'm bad at editing, but somehow I edit out really dumb mistakes I make in the game.
It is making you just kind of glide along the thing
Yeah, that
there.
was pretty strange. And I was also staring at this one. This is the secret I thought I was finding earlier. Out of all things,
I can't believe you found this.
yeah, out of all secrets in the game, this is the one super secret I found without looking at guides.
Right.
And now I forget I'm invisible, so I'll just shoot these guys. And I'm really confused again because the zombies started attacking me. And then I look
At least
my
they have an
weapon.
excuse this time as opposed to just wanting to see their agent.
Yeah. Oh, and now I realized that I was wasting time. And there I was wandering around thinking that there was something on the other side with the same kind of door.
Oh, that's a bunch of ammunition, and this looks like an arena.
Right. And I spent like 5 minutes trying to figure out what makes the doors open. And instead of using dynamite to blow all of them up, I just wasted all that submachine gun ammo.
Yeah, this game certainly likes its like huge clusters of jerks behind walls.
Right, it's the first episode mostly. It's kind of satisfying. Oh, and now I shoot myself in, so time to fast forward.
At least you didn't have the invisibility and etc. at this point in time.
Right.
Then it would have just been anger-inducing.
That's right, there is the Altfire for the Napalm launcher. It was added into Bloodbath, which is the official expansion for the game, and it
Certainly seems effective.
yeah, it takes a lot of ammo, but it's really satisfying. It's not really useful because it deals so much damage, but it's
Right.
fun. So the goal in the game is to avenge your friends and your lady friend, the Ophelia, and this is the first of them, the lady.
Of course her name is Ophelia. Why wouldn't it be?
I actually don't know if that's any kind of reference.
Let's just say that anytime you have, like, some kind of a woman involved with, like, occultic themes going on, odds are her name is Olivia. Ophelia, excuse me. Yeah.
Right, that sounds like very cult names. And that gargoyle is stone, that's the boss. I'm not really sure if fire works well against it, but I used it anyway. There aren't really...
So the boss is a reskinned gargoyle
Well, it
that
says
just
actually,
has more guns.
it seems like the... Apart from the animation, it seems like it was going to be the original gargoyle. Because it has
Right.
a... With that attack... with that, like... whatever laser ball attack, it's actually kind of dangerous. But not here.
Yeah, like, an aerial enemy that shoots at you is dangerous, period.
Right. Actually, the normal gargoyles throw bones at you, but you never see that because their AI is so strange. And this one still has all the weaknesses of the normal gargoyle, namely that you can get it into melee. I'm just
Jeez,
saying...
every time you're taking hits, you're getting hit for like over 30 damage. That thing hits hard.
Oh, do you see the green bar go down? You actually do.
Oh yeah, it is doing spirit damage, yeah.
Yeah, I did not... I hadn't noticed that before.
Okay, so there's one enemy.
Right.
Everything you've been preparing for has led up to this moment.
And time for more janky animations.
Sleep, Ophelia.
What got me was that like the gunshot was just lens flare. It wasn't actually a muzzle flash. It was just lens flare.